Hey guys, welcome back to Cypress Steel Forge. As we have been for the past few weeks, it is busy around here. Man, we have got a lot going on. We've been getting ready for the festival, so doing a lot of little stuff. Got the Woodsman's ring knife is heat treated. I need to grind it and get it sharpened, the leather wrap on it so it can go out the door. Got 2 more Celtic ring knives to get done. Those things just blowing up, man. Thank y'all so much for that. That is really awesome. I have no idea why they're suddenly so popular, but cool. So I thought to myself today, what better thing to do in the middle of such a busy time than take up a whole different project. Woohoo! We're going to do 2 small little projects, and I'm going to kind of walk you through them. What I'm going to do is make some business card holders. I want something that's rustic, that says me, that displays not only, what we're doing, but also, obviously, the cards. So, what I'm going to do is I've got a small piece of some white oak, still with the bark on it, and I've got a piece of, I'm not entirely sure, it's left over from something. I think this was crepe myrtle. Kind of looks like it. I don't know. It was a leftover piece from something I did before. Anyways, I'm going to be forging out for this one here. This is going to be something like an anvil stump. I'm going to use a little railroad spike head and make an anvil to sit on here, and then I'm going to cut a notch out and the business cards can sit there. So it's going to look really cool. I'm going to show y'all how I do that. And with this one, I genuinely have no idea yet. So we'll discuss it as we go. I think one of the things I'm going to do is notch it this way to sit the business cards in. But I don't know. You know what I'm thinking right this moment, and y'all watching the insanity or magic, whatever you want to call it, happen. Maybe like a little sword and a stone sort of thing. Make a little opener sword, stick it in there. That could be really cool. Anyways, so I'm just going to take these over to the bandsaw real quick. We'll get them notched, and then it'll be out to the forge to get it fired up and get started. Yeah, it is insane already. It's 9 in the morning, and it has got to be 85, 86 degrees out there. August has come back with a vengeance, so I don't know how long we're going to last today, because it's going to be hot. Alright guys, so I probably should have videoed all that. Sorry. I went over to the bandsaw, things weren't really working out for me, so I got a milling bit down and put it in the drill press, and yeah, that worked out beautifully. As you can see, I was able to put a nice little slot in this thing, so the cards could sit right there. Honestly, that could work right all by itself. Now I'm going to do stuff with it, but it could work. Same thing with this one here. You can see it's got a nice little slot. Perfect. Obviously, I'm going to sand this down a bit. Excuse me. Almighty. Yeah, I need to touch it up on the sander and whatnot. Make it look a little prettier. But, yeah, this ain't all I'm going to do with it. That would just be... That'd be lazy, but I mean, you could. If you were wanting a quick and easy business card holder that looked really cool, and especially if you're doing woodworking, hey, that little milling bit and it worked. But what I'm going to do is, I think I got 220 on here, so I'm just going to use it. Get that. Obviously, I'm not trying to polish this. I don't want to. I'm not going to run this up to 1,000 grit. That's as much polishing as I intend to do with it. I will give it some stain. I will do some wax on it, but I'm not looking for it to look really pretty. I do want a nice rustic look. So do the same real quick. I'd say just touch it up just a little bit. Make sure nobody gets any splinters off of it. But yeah, I'm even going to leave the bark on this one. As long as it looks like it's going to stay on. Yeah. Those little bits that might pop off. I'll go around and if you've got a piece like this and you're concerned about the bark, you know, take your thumb and just... I'm not trying hard, and I'm not prying with my thumbnail, because that would actually, you know, I could actually pry it off there. I'm just taking the ball of my thumb and just working around it, and anything that pops off, that's fine. See, yep, got chunks coming off there. And that's fine, because what you don't want is chunks coming off when it's sitting there. You know, that don't look good. There's a difference between having something look rustic and have it look like it's falling the heck apart. So now we're going to go out to the forge and let's see what we can make for these. I'm still on the fence. I might actually do a little mini axe for this. That could be really cool too. We'll just see. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. Alright, so we're out here at the forge and yeah, had to play with it a little bit to get it just right. Yeah, I'm still learning to dial this thing in now that it's a lot hotter than it used to be. But kicking along, so we've got two pieces of metal in there. One is just the head off a railroad spike. I found one that I had been messing with years ago, apparently, and had tried to do something with. It's always lovely to go look back on an old project and even be like, I can't even tell what the crap I was up to. But anyways, just lop the head off that. We're going to turn that into the anvil, and then I've got just a little, basically a stick of metal. And gonna make a little... I'm tossing between a sword and a scythe to stick into the log. Both would be kind of cool. So we'll just kind of see what happens. Alright, so the first thing I'm gonna do is just start working the area that's gonna be the horn. It's a little bit tricky, but we're gonna manage it. There we go. I think this will be the first time I actually narrate as I do this, but I just want y'all to see how it actually happens. We're going to set these down. I got to get a second pair of tongs out. And so this thing here is just basically a stick of metal. And I'm just going to hammer a good part of it flat here. Alright, so we're bringing this back, and we're just going to keep working on trying to kind of flatten and bring out that front like it's going to be the horn. I'd say it ain't got to be perfect. A general idea is what I'm really shooting for here, because I can always take it to the grinder and refine it. Alright, so now we're back to this thing. We're just going to go about 3/4 of the way up. Just kind of flattening it. Now, obviously, if it were an actual sword, I'd be more worried about the point. But since the point is going to be stuck into the wood, I'm not overly concerned about it. Just want the overall shape to look kind of like a sword. Getting out this little hammer because we're going to be doing some little work, and this is kind of my go-to for that sort of thing. Hey, good thing about having almost all dirt and gravel around here. At least I ain't starting a forest fire. Now we're going to work on the hilt. We're going to have a nice long sword. So, let's see, right about here is where we're going to start the hilt. That'll be almost like a claymore or something. See, we're just drilling that hilt out, and we'll draw the tang out. Anyways, we're just going to put a nice wooden handle on it, so that'll work out. There we go. So we're just going to do more of the same here. We're just trying to draw out that front a little bit more than it is already. It's not super important. So you already start to see the general shape coming in here. So we'll draw out this front just a bit more, and then most of the work on this is going to be on the grinder. All right. Next, we're going to take and flatten out a little bit more of it for blade. Kind of overestimated how much tang I needed. Obviously I wouldn't have an actual tang that short on a real knife, but if this is a sword, and we're talking about that being an appropriate to 3 foot, then that would be roughly a one-handed grip there. So if I draw that out just a little bit more, that'd be pretty close to a 2-handed grip, so we could have like a Zweihander. Alright, we're just about done with this thing. Well, if I can get a hold of it. It's the fun of tongs right there is sometimes your piece just goes flat. Now all I want to do, clean this up just a touch. And while it sounds like I'm kind of hitting hard, you can see how much I've choked up on it, so as to not stress out the cold metal. Basically, we're gonna put this in the heat one more time and make sure it's flat, and then it'll be ready to go to the grinder. There we go. It's coming along. It ain't an easy one to do. I probably should not have cut it off beforehand. Living and learning, right? Sometimes that happens. All we're going to do is just make sure it's flat and for the most part straight. I know the part at the tang ain't very straight, but that's all right. We'll grind all that. This thing is ooh, how did we get so wonky? There we go. So this thing's pretty much straight. I'm gonna just take it as is, heat it a little bit, and then dunk it in the oil just to get a patina, the way we would with like jewelry or something. Now it ain't super important to get the patina right now, because of course it's gonna get ground and I'll have to get heated and patinaed again. Which is also why I'm willing to go into the water bucket with it, which is something I would never do with an actual sword or knife. Now this is actually hardenable steel here that I used because it was just a scrap laying around, but I'm not going to harden it, it's fine. Alright. I honestly think that is about as good as I'm going to get it on the handle. I think the rest of it's just going to require, just the rest of it's just going to be grinding work. So we'll demonstrate that. What I'm going to do is let this cool a bit, because it's insanely hot right now. And then once it's cooled some, then I'll dunk it in the water. Because it is a railroad spike and medium carbon steel, I don't want to dunk it in the water when it's that hot, because there is at least a small chance that it could shatter. And that would just suck. So that's going to be it for right now. Yeah, so that's going to be it for right now for those two projects. Sword's ready to go to the grinder, so I'll take it in a minute. Oh, well, a little bit longer, because the anvil is going to have to cool off before I can dunk it in water. As you can see, I'm quite sweating. So, I've got a small piece in there right now. I think I'm gonna do a real quick like crochet hook or something just to kind of keep some productivity going, and then it's gonna be break time, and then we'll come back after break and get these projects done. Alright guys, so I decided not to subject y'all to watching me grind today. It's gonna look the same as any other time. If you really want to see me grinding, tons of videos. Just pick one, it looks the same. I'm standing there going, and there's sparks. But what I've done is turn this into a pretty little sword. Obviously, I did not shine it. I'll hit it with some 220 just to make sure it don't rust. But yeah, I'm not going to polish it because it's supposed to look rustic. So next thing I need is just a little wooden handle, and I'll just drill it out, put it on there, we'll shape it. Got us a nice little copper hairpin now. Just gotta get the glue off there. Wire wheel does that really nicely. And then, I don't know, I think a dark stain a dark stain with copper maybe, but we'll see. So the next thing is I'm going to, I'm not overly worried about the tip anyways, because I'm going to kind of bury it in here, maybe at like an angle or something. Yeah, I don't have it entirely worked out in my head, but I'm thinking something, like that, and then my business cards will just sit right in there, and, we'll shine everything up. So the next thing I'm going to do is start grinding on this thing. Now this is going to take a little bit longer, but I'm going to flatten out the back and just start rounding this off to a horn. So yeah, we'll see how when it's done. Alright, the next step is done. It's not bad. It's obviously, crude, but it kind of looks like an anvil. I think when it's put on the stump, it'll get sunk down in there a little bit. And that'll kind of look like a little anvil on a stump, so I like it. I might put them up on the shop. I wasn't intending to do business card holders, but, if people like them, maybe it'll be worth something. I don't know. We'll see. So anyways, next step is going to be put a handle on this, and then we need to drill this out. Again, I'm kind of tempted. See, I don't want it to take up too much sideways space, though. As much as it is, I wonder if I could drill that at a, well, no, because that would be, well, huh. What if I could drill it to make it sit like that? I don't know if I have that skill, and I don't want to mess it up. I think I'll just go straight up and down for today, and then, or I'll just grab a scrap of wood and see if I can drill sideways. You know what, that's what I'm going to do. So, because I kind of like the idea of it sticking out to the side like that. I think that's really cool. So yeah, I think what I'll do is grab a scrap of wood and see if I can actually physically do that. For this one, I'm just going to take one of the smaller milling bits and just mill out that little square area where I want it to sink down into. Whoo, that was lucky. I mean, it ain't big, but you still don't want it landed on your toe. Yeah, so I'm just going to sink it into here, and then we'll epoxy it up. Alright guys, so I once again fibbed about going and taking a break. It's not saying I shouldn't have done it. I'm definitely beat down right now, but I didn't. But what we did do is finish up. So to sink the anvil into the stump in the little thing, all I did was trace around the base of the anvil with a pencil, and then use the milling bit on the drill press, and just followed the tracing and hollowed that out until it got as deep as I wanted it. And I think it looks pretty good. I used a dark mahogany wax on it. It's got the mahogany stain in it, and so yeah, it kind of looks nice and rustic. Said I put a little bit of the wax on the anvil itself, a little beeswax, just to keep it from rusting. But yeah, gives it a nice little rustic, anvil on a stump look. And of course, like I said, this little slot will hold the business cards. The other one, the sword didn't turn out as well as I should have put a cross guard on it. I wasn't trying to put that much effort in, but I should have. But overall, I think it's kind of cool still. I did get the sword to stick out like this. I put a little bit of cedar handle on it. And then just the same with the mahogany wax. I love that stuff. It really does give a nice dark rustic look to it. Obviously I put some bevels on it. I've also beeswaxed the blade again just to keep it from rusting. I didn't sharpen it, obviously. That would be crazy. You don't want people cutting themselves getting your business card. But I did put bevels so that it looks like a sword. And yeah, I like it. We're gonna call it a morning. Got to go do lunch. I ran out of water out here, and I should have stopped and gone got more, but some days I don't have a lick of sense. So I'm gonna go in and drink a bunch of water, and and got a nice little stain on that too. So we're moving along. We're getting stuff done. One of these, and I may flip a coin, or I don't know. One of these will go to the fair with me, or the festivals, or whatever you want to call them, and hold my business cards. And the other is going to go to the gun shop, because I gave him some business cards to hand out, but I thought, hey, if I had a little stand that kind of showcased what I did, it would even be cooler. So so I'll get over there today after lunch, and that's it. After lunch, once I do that, I'm gonna get back to doing this here. I've got to, I got the handle on this thing. It's nice and comfortable. I hate that it took me so long and have somebody else come by and be like, hey, can you do this, before I realized that a ring knife could be this size, because that is just awesome. Shoot. Just realized I forgot to put my trade stamp into it. Never too late. I can burn it into the leather, so. Yeah, but other than that, this thing just needs to be sharpened and get out to a new buddy up there in Greensboro. Hopefully he being safe, because it is insanely hot still. Anyways, y'all take care out there, take care of each other. Stuff's a little crazy right now, but we're all people. We're all on this planet. Just act like it. That's all anybody's asking. Take care of each other. Take care of yourselves.